Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into Shawn Achor's transformative book, The Happiness Advantage: How a Positive Brain Fuels Success in Work and Life. If you're ready to learn how happiness can lead to greater success, stay tuned. So let's dive into the summary of this incredible book. But before we dive into the content, I kindly request a moment of your time to appreciate this video by liking it, subscribing to the channel, and ringing that notification bell. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you so much. The Happiness Advantage explores the powerful connection between positivity and achievement. Bringing together research from the fields of psychology and neuroscience, Shawn Achor presents a compelling argument for why it's essential to prioritize happiness in our lives. Achor reveals that our brains perform significantly better when we're in a positive state, as opposed to a negative, neutral, or stressed one. By cultivating a positive mindset, we can unlock our brain's full potential and enhance our performance at work and in our personal lives. The book introduces the concept of the happiness advantage, which suggests that happiness is not just a result of success, but a precursor to it. When we're happy, our productivity, creativity, and problem-solving abilities are all amplified, leading to improved outcomes in our endeavors. The Happiness Advantage provides practical strategies and actionable steps to help readers cultivate a positive mindset and harness the power of happiness in their daily lives. From practicing gratitude and mindfulness to fostering strong social connections, Achor offers a roadmap for achieving sustainable happiness and success. The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor explains how happiness can fuel success, not the other way around. The book offers research-based practices to improve well-being and boost professional and personal achievements. The Happiness Advantage looks into the origins of happiness and the positive effects that happiness has on our productivity. Based on extensive research in positive psychology, the book offers concrete tips on how to increase your own happiness and thus your chances for success. The Happiness Advantage reveals the profound impact of positive psychology on our happiness and success. Here's why this book is a must-read. Packed with research-backed strategies, it teaches practical ways to leverage positivity and improve our well-being. By highlighting the link between happiness and performance, the book shows how cultivating a positive mindset can enhance productivity and resilience. With its engaging anecdotes and relatable examples, the book ensures that the subject matter never becomes dull, making it an enjoyable and educational read. Here is a sentence showcasing the greatness of a quote of this book. Even the smallest shots of positivity can give someone a serious competitive edge. Shawn Achor. Those are the individuals who truly deserve to immerse themselves in this extraordinary book. Anyone who thinks happiness is the reward for hard work. Anyone who feels too stressed to cope. Anyone who could use just a little more happiness in his or her life. Shawn Achor is an American author who spent 12 years at Harvard studying what makes people happy. He is a leading expert on the connection between happiness and success and has worked with successful leaders all over the world. In addition, he has written a number of New York Times best-selling books, including Before Happiness, Ripple's Effect, and The Orange Frog. Most people think that happiness comes after success, and that success comes after hard work. But we've had the equation all wrong. Happiness isn't the result of success. It's the cause of it. The Happiness Advantage, published in 2010, is an introduction to this formula for success, based on research in neuroscience and the relatively new field of positive psychology. Author Shawn Achor offers insight as a leading expert on the connection between happiness and performance, an author of multiple books on the topic, and the founder of a research and consulting firm that optimizes people's achievement through positive psychology. Using research and personal anecdotes, Achor covers the following 7 principles in this book. Reap the benefits of happiness. Happiness promotes productivity and success, and employers and managers can use these principles to achieve results in the workplace. Leverage the power of a positive mindset. Your mindset affects your efforts and your actions. Train your brain to see the positive. When you develop a positive thinking pattern, you program your brain to focus on the positive and optimize the benefits of positivity. Learn and grow through adversity. Adversity is inevitable, But if you stay positive during challenging times, you will not only carry on, but also learn and grow through the process. Stay in control through incremental achievements. Focus on small, manageable goals to keep you in control and build your confidence and motivation. Create positive habits. Maintain healthy behaviors by turning them into habits. Optimize the benefits of social connections. Social support raises your happiness and productivity. The happiness advantage really encompasses many advantages, including improved creativity, better health, increased energy. These benefits raise the quality of your personal life, and they also optimize your success at work. The principles of the happiness advantage have brought positive results even in the most stressful environments, including among big bank employees in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis. Whether your circumstances make it hard to be happy or you naturally have a lower happiness baseline, the 7 principles explain how to be more positive and why it's so essential to your success. Principle 1. Reap the benefits of happiness. The benefits of being happy are deeper than feeling good. Happiness has measurable, lasting effects on your mind and body. Positive emotions release restricted term and serotonin, which make you feel good, while also activating your brain's learning centers. This effect improves your ability to think quickly and creatively, analyze, problem solve, organize and store new information, and be open to new ideas. Positive emotions also reduce stress and anxiety in a phenomenon psychologists call the undoing effect. Some amount of stress is inevitable in life and in work, but when a stressful situation is imminent, for example, you have to make a presentation at an important meeting this afternoon, you can mitigate that stress by focusing on happy memories or watching a funny video. Happiness improves your physical health. In one experiment, researchers surveyed participants about their levels of happiness, and then injected them with the cold virus. The following week, researchers found that the happier participants fought off the virus more quickly and had fewer objective symptoms than their less happy peers. Raise your happiness baseline. Your happiness fluctuates all the time, but you can actually take steps to permanently raise your happiness baseline. Consider incorporating some of these happiness-building activities into your day-to-day routine. Meditating. 5 minutes of meditation a day can make you more calm and aware, and, in the long term, permanently rewire your brain for greater happiness, boost your immune system, and lower your stress. Building up positive anticipation. Getting excited about an upcoming event activates your brain's pleasure centers as much as actually having the experience. Think about experiences you're looking forward to, and make plans that you can get excited about. Giving back. People who perform acts of kindness are much happier than people who don't. One day each week, try to perform 5 acts of kindness. They can be small and simple, but they should be deliberate. Cultivating a positive environment. Your surroundings impact your mindset, so fill yours with things that make you happy, such as pictures of loved ones. Exercising. Exercise releases feel-good endorphins in your brain, increases motivation, reduces stress and anxiety, and promotes focus. Investing in experiences. Spending money on activities, such as musical events and group dinners, or on other people creates more meaningful and enduring happiness than spending money on yourself. Tapping into your talents. Using a skill that you excel at or making the most of an ingrained character trait, such as a love of learning, can lower depression and increase happiness. Happiness optimizes work success. The cognitive, emotional, and physical benefits of positivity mean that it also promotes productivity and success at work. Happy employees are more focused and innovative, suffer from less stress, and call out for fewer sick days. Managers and executives are in the best position to promote happiness because they can influence company policies and culture, they interact with many people, and they set an example for their employees. Company leaders can make their employees happier and more productive by providing services such as health benefits, gym memberships, and on-site daycare. Most people strive to be happy, And yet, for so many, happiness always seems to be just out of reach or just around the next corner. Have you told yourself too many times that once you reach the next benchmark, then you will be happy? This common approach to life is predicated on the idea that happiness comes after success, and that success comes after hard work. But we've had the equation all wrong. The Happiness Advantage, published in 2010, is an introduction to a relatively new formula for success, based on research in positive psychology and neuroscience. Under this paradigm, not only can you put your happiness first, but you can actually achieve greater success as a result. Author Shawn Achor offers insight as a leading expert on the connection between happiness and performance. In addition to studying under several pioneers of positive psychology, Achor helped create and teach a popular Harvard course on happiness. He has written multiple books about happiness and success, and he founded a research and consulting firm that optimizes people's achievement through positive psychology. Stronger relationships. Principle 1. Reap the benefits of happiness. As a result of the last few decades of positive psychology research, we now know that the long-standing belief that happiness results from success is wrong. In reality, happiness begets success. In this chapter, we'll discuss how happiness promotes productivity and success, how you can raise your personal happiness baseline, and how employers and managers can use these principles to achieve results in the workplace. First, let's define happiness. One of the best-known positive psychologists, Martin Seligman, breaks down happiness into 3 components: pleasure, engagement, meaning. Pursuing pleasure alone may make you happy, but incorporating engagement and personal meaning in that pursuit will maximize the benefits of happiness. We'll go into more detail about those benefits later in this chapter. This sentiment is reflected in Aristotle's term, eudaimonia, which translates to human flourishing. Throughout the book and summary, happiness is used as a shorthand to encompass all of these elements. The effects of happiness. The benefits of being happy are deeper than feeling good. Happiness has measurable, lasting effects on your mind and body. Principle 2. Leverage the power of a positive mindset. We've discussed the benefits of positivity and some strategies to raise your happiness, but sometimes the biggest obstacles are your own persistent, negative thoughts. Think of your mind as a seesaw. If a light person sits on one end and a heavy person sits on the other, the heavy person will be on the ground while the light person will be suspended in the air. However, if you place the fulcrum, the center point on which the lever balances, closer to the heavy person, that person will be easier to lift. When it comes to being happier, if your mind is entrenched in negative thought, it's like moving the fulcrum away from the heavy object. It becomes very difficult to lift. On the other hand, if you focus on more positive thoughts, you leverage the power of your fulcrum by moving it closer to the heavy object, and your power for positivity is unbounded. In this chapter, we'll discuss how your mindset affects your efforts and your actions, and how to leverage this power to achieve success. Perception is powerful. If you've ever distracted an upset child with a joke, you know that you can't be sad and happy at the same time. Principle 3. Train your brain to see the positive. We've discussed the wide-ranging benefits of happiness as well as the power of a positive mindset. In this chapter, we'll explore how to train your brain to focus on the positive instead of the negative. The more you engage in any pattern of thinking, the more your brain will use the same formula to evaluate other things in life. In gaming, this phenomenon has been dubbed the Tetris effect. After playing hours of the tile-matching video game, gamers saw objects in their everyday lives as shapes that they needed to fit into gaps, as if they were still playing the game. Similarly, professions that hinge on finding problems and errors, such as tax auditors and lawyers, create similar mental patterns. While such training might be beneficial for work, it can cause them to habitually seek out problems in their personal lives as well. For example, a tax auditor actually created an Excel spreadsheet to track the mistakes his wife made. Similarly, athletes often have a hard time switching off their competitive drive. Principle 4. Learn and grow through adversity. As much as you may be able to improve your positive mindset, it can be particularly difficult to be optimistic in the face of adversity. When you confront a challenge, you have 3 options. Keep circling around the problem, which will result in no change. Make bad choices that create further negative consequences, thereby putting you in an even worse position than before. Take the setback as an opportunity to build resilience, improve your abilities, and increase your fortitude. This is the third path, or the act of falling up. Adversity is inevitable, but if you stay positive during challenging times, you will not only carry on, but also learn and grow through the process. In fact, the most traumatic and heart-wrenching experiences can also be the most positive and transformative when people remain optimistic and find ways to rise above their hardships. People who choose to fall up in the face of traumas, such as chronic and life-threatening illnesses, natural disasters, and military combat, experience post-traumatic growth or adversarial growth, which results in increased compassion, openness, personal strength, satisfaction with life. Principle 5. Stay in control through incremental achievements. In the last chapter, we talked about the benefits of finding a way to rise above challenges by learning and growing from them. In order to fall up, you have to feel that you have some control over your fate, but control can seem elusive when you're stressed and overwhelmed. In this chapter, we'll discuss the benefits of feeling in control, the reasons you sometimes lose that feeling, and strategies for getting it back a little at a time. Since your perception shapes your reality, the actual amount of control you have matters less than how much control you think you have. That doesn't mean that you should falsely and foolishly claim control over things like the weather. Rather, it has to do with how you interpret situations, similarly to the way your explanatory style determines how you make sense of challenges. There are two lenses through which you can interpret your control. People who have an internal locus of control believe that they can have a direct impact on their futures. When these people face a challenge or setback, they reflect on how they could have performed better, and then they improve for future situations. Principle 6. Create positive habits. There's no use in knowing that you should do something if you don't actually do it, but having the knowledge doesn't make it any easier to carry out. For example, you probably know that you should eat fruits and vegetables every day, and that you should get 8 hours of sleep each night, but do you always follow that advice? In this chapter, we'll explain why you don't always do the things you should, how to stop your unhealthy habits, and how to implement healthy ones. Your willpower is limited. A major factor preventing you from doing all the things you should do is willpower or lack thereof. People have limited willpower and they only have one source of it, meaning that you don't have a bucket of work-related willpower as well as a bucket of personal willpower. Throughout the day, small acts like avoiding a donut in the break room and staying focused during a long, tedious work meeting tax your willpower, so you may not have any left at the end of the day when you get home and you have to choose between a burger and a salad for dinner. 7. Optimize the benefits of social connections. When you have a daunting, stressful project on your plate, you may be inclined to hunker down and isolate yourself from seemingly superfluous social interactions. Eating lunch at your desk, working nights and weekends, and canceling social time with friends and family. However, this approach actually hurts your productivity instead of helping it, because people need social connection for their productivity and personal well-being. In other words, when you avoid social interaction in order to focus on your project, you're unwittingly creating a bigger obstacle between you and the finish line, and, by the time you get there, you'll have no energy left for the next project. By contrast, successful people know that they need social support to get through challenging times. When you're dealing with a big project at work or a challenging situation at home, the most important thing you can do is to maintain your social connections. Social bonds increase your energy, engagement, happiness, productivity, resilience, sense of purpose. The principles of the happiness advantage work in concert, meaning a little positivity snowballs to create even greater benefits. For example, when you train your brain to see the positive, principle number 3, you'll see more opportunity for growth when faced with adversity. Thus, you'll be better positioned to fall up or find the third path, principle 4. Additionally, if you invest in your social connections, principle number 7, the community support you develop can keep you accountable and help you form new, healthy habits. Principle number 6, the more you implement the principles of the happiness advantage, the more your efforts will reinforce each other and create a virtuous cycle of positivity and success. And the cycle doesn't end with you. Your happiness creates ripple effects that benefit the people around you. Your brain has cells called mirror neurons, which read and mimic the emotions and reactions. In today's fast-paced world, you want to use every possible advantage available to you to get an edge over the competition. The hope is often that, by leveraging your success, you can eventually get to a point where your accomplishments and wealth award you a certain degree of happiness. As you'll soon discover, this isn't exactly how it works. In fact, happiness, far from being the result of all your hard work, is actually one of the tools you can use to increase your performance and thus your quality of life. In these insights, you'll learn all about the 7 basic principles that will help you increase your level of happiness and bring you closer to succeeding at your goals. In these insights, you'll discover why Michael Jordan and Walt Disney are more alike than they are different, how spending more time around the water cooler will improve the quality of your work, and how acting like you're 20 years younger can actually make you feel that way. Here are several crucial insights gleaned from this extraordinary book. 1. Traditional psychology focuses on the negatives without seeing the positives. Traditional psychology looks at averages. Are people less fulfilled than average? Less happy than average? If so, traditional psychology aims to bring people back up to what is considered the average level of happiness or fulfillment. In addition, traditional psychology focuses on the negative, questioning what makes people fall below average rather than what lifts them above it. However, the problem with this approach is that, in our obsession with averages, we ultimately can't move beyond that point into excellence. By improving only in the areas where you are lacking, you miss out on opportunities to surpass the average. Consider for a moment that 4 out of 5 Harvard students suffer from depression and consider their studies to be a source of stress. Looking at this data, traditional psychology would consider our 4 Harvard students to exhibit an average level of happiness. After all, they represent the clear majority. However, in doing so, they completely miss the one anomaly, the 5th non-depressed student. This is important, because one student who isn't depressed is also the one who's most likely to succeed, both in school and later at work. This realization that we should focus on positives gave birth to the field of positive psychology. Positive psychology investigates what it is that makes people excel, with the ultimate goal of applying that knowledge and thereby raising the average. So, what makes that one Harvard student succeed where the other 4 failed? After living among Harvard students for 12 years and traveling all over the world trying to figure out what lifts people above average, the author found that successful people are successful because of their specific interpretation of reality. For instance, his experience of students in Soweto, South Africa revealed the vast majority to be delighted with their studies as they saw schoolwork as a challenge and a privilege. Compare this with Harvard students, many of whom see school as a source of stress. 2. Success revolves around happiness, not the other way around. What exactly is happiness? Formally, we defined happiness as the experience of positive emotions. But the truth is that happiness is highly subjective, relative to the individual experiencing it. Positive psychology shows that when we feel good and have a positive mindset, we are smarter, feel more motivated, and enjoy more success. 3. The happiness advantage will give you a performance edge. If you've ever felt work was easier when you're in a good mood, then it was more than just a coincidence. Indeed, our brains perform best when we feel positive. Consider this study, in which the initial level of positive emotions of 272 employees at the same company were measured and compared with their performance over an 18-month period. Researchers found that those who started out happier also ended up receiving better evaluations and higher pay later on. Enhance your performance by enhancing your mindset. If you have children or siblings, you've surely seen how, when the older one accidentally hits the younger one, he'll often try to do something so the younger sibling won't go crying to mom and dad. Usually, this means cracking a joke or saying something nice. But why does this work at all? How is it that our words can alter the experience of pain and suffering? 5. Train your brain to look for the positive over the negative. At this point, you should be convinced of the power of a positive mindset and probably want to know what you can do right now to become more happy. For starters, understand that your mind adopts patterns of viewing the world. 6. Follow up by turning negative momentum into positive momentum. One of the main drivers of success is the belief that we have control over our future, and is in fact one of the strongest drivers of well-being and performance. Those who believe they have power over their outcomes enjoy higher academic achievement, career accomplishment, and are happier at work. Think of a successful athlete, for example. She doesn't blame the referees or the weather when she loses, and certainly doesn't attribute her wins to strokes of fortune. 7. Gaining control and focusing on little changes is how you can make the greatest improvements. One of the main drivers of success is the belief that we have control over our future, and is in fact one of the strongest drivers of well-being and performance. Those who believe they have power over their outcomes enjoy higher academic achievement, career accomplishment, and are happier at work. Think of a successful athlete, for example. She doesn't blame the referees or the weather when she loses, and certainly doesn't attribute her wins to strokes of fortune. Willpower alone cannot affect change. Instead, try to minimize barriers and form good habits. It should be obvious that exercise is good for you while smoking is not, right? Yet, despite this knowledge, so many people fail when they try to adopt good habits or abandon bad ones. The problem is that they often rely on their willpower, but willpower is a limited resource, meaning the well can run dry. In fact, studies have shown that willpower is ineffective at maintaining lifestyle changes because willpower becomes depleted with overuse. 9. Social support is one of your greatest assets. Imagine your boss hands you a new project and you immediately immerse yourself in it, cutting yourself off from the rest of the world entirely. No socializing, no friends, nothing. There are only two outcomes in this scenario. Either you sink and fail or you completely exhaust yourself trying to push through. Successful people, however, know that their social relationships are valuable investment. Social interactions fill us with positivity, and as we strengthen our relationships over time, we raise our happiness baseline. 10. You have the power to share your happiness with the world. Surely you've seen someone yawn only to have the irresistible urge to yawn yourself. The same phenomenon occurs with happiness. Although the ideas presented in the insights start at an individual level, that doesn't mean they end there. When we start exploiting the happiness advantage, its benefits multiply, spreading throughout our communities and societies. In other words, they're not just for us. As you embark on your journey to implement the lessons from the happiness advantage, remember that small changes in your mindset and habits can have a profound impact on your well-being and overall satisfaction. By embracing positivity and incorporating positive practices into your routine, you can set yourself up for a fulfilling and successful life. You can find the link to acquire a copy of this incredible book in the description below. Thank you for tuning in to our book summary of The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor. If you're ready to unlock the key to a happier and more successful life, be sure to check out this insightful read. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more book summaries and motivational content. Until next time, stay positive and keep striving for happiness.